lot of Gen Zs are moving into, if I can rent it, why would I bother owning?
Yeah.
Why then, as somebody who's very geographically transitional, is home ownership something that was still important to you?
I don't have any residential homes.
Do you think too many people are too emotionally attached to their first purchase?
If you were in a situation like mine, I don't see why you would get your first home as a residential.
Are you going to continue investing in property?
I don't think that property is the best way to invest your money.
If you could have properties in 5 countries in the world, where would they be?
Good question. Hi everyone, my name is Lamide. What do I say about myself? So I'm the host of a podcast called Building Wealth with No Borders. I only started it 6 months ago, but I've been doing YouTube for I think like 5 years now. I used to work in investment banking in the UK and in London and also in Dubai. But now I kind of just do my own thing, just kind of living life on my own terms. What else do I do? I'm a passive property investor, so I'm not like a property entrepreneur like all of these guys, but property has allowed me to do a lot, like quit my job. So I'm really grateful for it for that reason. And yeah, I like to skate between like 3 countries. So Johannesburg, London, and Dubai. What else? Oh, I guess I'll call myself like the CEO of WMB Group, which is just like a consolidation of all the things that I do together. Oh, and I help people get invested in Dubai as well. So if there are any investors who want to invest in Dubai, happy to help with that.
See, that's a good bio. That seems very practiced and polished. Have you always been this good at speaking?
You know what? The number one comment that I get, like, you talk too fast. Do you get that?
I
don't talk
I
fast,
get that
though.
I talk too slow. So everybody
Yeah,
wants
you
to try
talk
and get,
slow.
like, you're trying to get a clip. And you're like, why did you take 7 minutes to describe what a buy-to-let is?
I get that I talk too fast. I don't think I'm a particularly good speaker. I did used to do like debate mate and stuff. Did you do that?
Nah. But I feel like I would love that because I wanted to be a solicitor just so I could argue with people and get paid. In my head, like, I don't think Suits was out, but I thought, you know what? If I just get to go and be a barrister and just object to stuff and all of that, I'd be having the time of my life. Talking over people, that's right on my street.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was going to be a lawyer as well, but it's too much reading.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And actually, like, a lot of people complain about how slow solicitors are on, on residential sale transactions. But the reality is the amount of stuff they have to read versus the amount they get paid. They have to do so much volume.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of the process is so slow.
I just feel like a lot of it is so inefficient though. Sometimes I'm just like, even with like certain legal agreements, I'm just like, I could just get ChatGPT to do this. Like,
Do not do that. Number one. No, because I had one of my mentees, he called me and I was like, I'm not going to name it. Like, bro, yeah, bro, I just bought this property at auction. So can we go over the numbers? I said, why are we going over the numbers? You've bought it at auction. It's yours. The numbers don't mean anything at this point. Let's get in a plan. I was like, okay, so obviously you've got an in-house solicitor. I was like, okay, but the solicitor's dealing with how that's going. He's like, I haven't instructed them. I was like, so who read your legal pack? ChatGPT.
no, I always instruct solicitors.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of what they do, ChatGPT can do. But hey, hot take. That's just my opinion.
Do you know what it is though? What you get is the fact that the solicitors are covered by their professional insurance. So if they miss something, your losses are mitigated because you can claim because they've missed it.
Okay,
whereas ChatGPT, unfortunately, even with the pro subscription at $7.99 a month, all you're getting is sorry, unfortunately, we're not available at the moment.
Yeah, fair.
So look, I feel like for a lot of people that listen to your intro and you've been able to quit your job, you've got multiple streams of income, you live between 3 very, very nice, desirable locations. They're like, you've already made it. What's your drive to still run a podcast, to still do other things?
Good question. Well, I definitely don't feel like I've already made it. So that would be number one. I feel like there's so much that I want to do, like retire my mum, for example. Like that's something that I'd love to do. So I definitely don't feel like I've already made it. In terms of my drive, I don't know. I guess I feel like I have purpose, and I feel like even in the lane that I'm in at the moment, right? And this is not to toot my own horn, but there's not that many people that I could say that are like me. in terms of like, even like technically speaking competitors. There are lots of finfluencers. I don't consider myself to be a finfluencer.
That's
But
a mouthful.
finfluencer, yeah.
If I had to say that on a teleprompter, I'd mess it up.
But yeah, I don't consider myself to be a influencer. But I don't feel like there's that many people who do what I do. So I feel like there is a segment of people that I can reach that need to be reached. So I feel like I'm serving those people. I think in general, I feel like if you're on this earth, you still got something to give.
I think I said it more from a place of what you've achieved in terms of your degree, working in finance, being able to work overseas, leave your job, have investments. If you were to take yourself back to being 16, 17 and said, at this age, this is what you've achieved,
Yeah.
you probably would have said, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Or do you think you always had really aspirational goals?
No, but the thing is, every time you get somewhere, you realize it's not that deep. Like, my made it thing when I was 16, 17, like working in an investment bank, that was like my numb. Like after that, it was like, I'm done. Like that would be my life. I'd climb up the ladder and whatever. And then you get there and you realize that actually this isn't everything that it's cracked up to be. And I think that's part of life, right? You always romanticize the next level. You think everything is going to be so much better. And then you get there and then you realize actually there's still some way to go. So yeah, but I would say 16, 17, I was ambitious at that point. I told you, I'm a type A person. I had my life planned out.
I keep saying this and don't know what type A means.
This bothering me. I just know it's me.
Well, then I'm a type Z person.
No, but there's only A or B though, so.
But if you don't know what it means, how can it
Because I just know. Like when I see other people say they're type A, I'm like, me and you, yeah.
So in your mind, type A means what?
It's people who are very like structured. You like to plan things out. In my mind, that's what I'm thinking.
So I being type B, there's kind of like...
You're like, whatever, don't ask me what questions I'm going to ask you on the podcast. I ain't got no questions. Arrive, whatever. When I arrived, by the way, he was eating jerk chicken and rice and peas and Coke.
Yeah, before 12 o'clock.
No, it wasn't before 12 o'clock because I never came after 12. And I'm like, oh, well then. So yeah, that's type B.
Yeah, like, I'm the type of person that, so randomly outside, they do like windsurfing in the River Thames.
Okay.
And last time I was here, I was like, I'm going to do that, and just decided to do it.
You did it?
After the podcast.
In the River Thames?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still alive.
That water's dirty.
No, it is. There's not any blue. There's zero blue. There's green and brown.
Exactly.
It's the colour spectrum.
Can you swim though?
Yeah, I'm a good swimmer.
Oh, that's good.
I got this is where I show my age. Do you know what Blue Peter is?
I feel like when I was younger, I saw that on TV.
Yeah, see, like for Arjun, that was like a staple of TV. It's on every single day. But yeah, I had my Blue Peter badge for swimming a mile, so I was well proud.
But where do you get the badge from?
From the show, like it was a thing.
You went on the show?
No, I didn't go on a show. Like if you did it, like I can't remember how it works. I think like your mum had to like write in or send something and be like, yeah. Like in hindsight, I don't really know. I think it was quite self-certified. I probably could have got a lot more badges.
I got a 10-meter certificate for swimming.
That's pathetic. Like I don't even think that could, like, think about it. When are you ever on a boat that's 10 meters away from anywhere safe?
Well, at least I got a certificate. I didn't migrate from the small pool to the big pool. I just stayed in the small
Have you got any awards for what you do in work?
At work, yeah, I do have some.
What awards have you had?
Okay, so previously, whilst I was at uni, I had EY Corporate Finance Woman of the Year for UK. I had UK Top 10 Black Students. I recently got nominated for or won the top 25 Black entrepreneurs. Weren't you on there recently?
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm getting that this year.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
No, do you know what? Because I was thinking about awards, and I think I got nominated for something random the other day.
Oh, I saw that.
But it was like, I was like, yeah, like, did it meet, like, so for example, the top 25, I think it's like HSBC business people.
Yeah.
Does that mean anything? Do you think it puts pressure on you? Does it change anything in your mindset?
Ooh, pressure. Do you know what? Yeah, people always ask me like, oh, pressure. Like, do you feel pressure to represent young Black women? I'm like, no. Like, I'm representing myself. Like, no, not pressure. I feel like it's good. For me, it's like visible. Okay, so I'll tell you something. I was in Dubai 2023, 2024. I came back to I've rebased in the UK. I'm out all the time, but like I've rebased in the UK. One of the things I really wanted to do was to kind of reestablish myself as a UK entrepreneur. Because when I exited to Dubai, I think my exit was very clean cut. It was like, okay, she's in Dubai now. And there was a lot of like things that were happening in the UK scene that I felt like I was missing out on, let's say. So coming back, I was like, okay, cool. One, the podcast. I know a lot more people in the UK than I do in Dubai. So I knew I had to come back to the UK for that. But then also I wanted to recertify myself in the space so that when opportunities come up for things that are based in the UK, I am also put up for it rather than, oh no, she's based in Dubai, she won't do it. So for me, that was, I mean, I didn't know I was going to be on it or whatever, but like for me, that's good.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Because I think, yeah, for a lot of people, they see like awards as, oh, you said I'm a top 25. Now I've got to perform. Now I've actually got to come and do the work.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, like I feel like, when I was like, this is pressure. You don't want me to do some work now.
You've already done the work though. That's why you got the award.
Yeah, but I think if you don't have the award, it's kind of just like, just do the work I want. And I think that's maybe back to your type B argument. Like a lot of the time, I'm just like, I don't know, we'll just see. I don't know. Like people are like, oh, like, what do you want out of life? And I'm like, I don't know. I want to play paddle later. That's as far as I've thought, really.
I feel like, but that's only a part of you because there's no way you've become this successful and not have some elements of having a type A personality. Actually, I don't know because I don't want to tie type A or B to success, but you have to have some level of drive or organization.
I think like I have a fear of failure that we touched on when I came on your podcast, which I think definitely helps. I think you need something as a driver.
Yeah.
But what is your driver doesn't have to be that I get up and go to the gym and then I journal and then I do this and then I play. You journal, don't you? Yeah, I don't even answer. Anyway, next question.
What's wrong with journaling? Have you been to therapy?
I've been to therapy. I've been to therapy.
It's journaling, isn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like it's responsive. Does your book talk to you?
You talk to yourself. You talk to yourself when you write. It's feedback. And it's also really good to look back on and be like, oh, this is where I was at this time of life.
Yeah, I feel like that's like what my iPhone's for in the pictures.
But does it capture the emotions though?
No, there's lives now. You can see if you're like...
No, but if you were sad, would you pick up the camera and be like, oh, let me record myself? You know the people that be crying on them and they're...
No, that's crazy. I just meant like the pictures, I'll just see how my face looks. You know, sometimes you can look in someone's eyes and say, they're a bit sad. Yeah, they're going through it. All right, do you know what? Let's talk a little bit about property because I think it is important. It is a property-based podcast.
Okay, cool.
You're somebody that, despite having a driving license for, 8 years, have never owned a car. And I think we're moving, for a lot of Gen Zs are moving into, if I can rent it, why would I bother owning it?
Ooh.
In terms of a mentality and mindset.
Yeah.
Why then, as somebody who's very geographically transitional, is home ownership something that was still important to you? Let me pause the video for a quick word from our sponsors. Now, let me put you onto something that could seriously level up your property game. When I started investing, I didn't fully grasp the benefits of using a limited company structure. But here's the deal. Over 75% of new UK investment properties are now purchased through limited companies. Now, why? Because it's a more tax efficient way of purchasing. You can claim your mortgage interest reliefs, benefits from lower corporation tax rates, plus it sets you up nicely for scaling your property portfolio and passing on wealth to the next generation. Simply put, it can help you increase your margin. Now, setting up and managing a limited company might sound daunting, but that's where GetGround come in. They handle the entire process for you, from setting up your company in days to managing your accounts and tax returns and ensuring compliance all under one roof. They even help you find financing to help you fund your investments, your own dedicated consultant, and a completely digital dashboard to track and manage the performance of your investments. But because I'm serious about giving back, I've got a great offer for you. GetGround is offering a free investment consultation plus 3 months of free accounting and tax services when you sign up through my link. Now, this is a huge opportunity to get started on the right foot. So if you're serious about building or optimizing your portfolio, then check out the link in the description. Fill out the form for a free consultation and claim your 3 months of free services. Don't miss out on this. You can even transfer existing buy-to-let companies over to GetGround and still take advantage of the amazing offer. Now back to the video.
Okay, but literally, because of what you said is why it's important for me, because I I don't have any okay, well, no, not really. I don't have any residential homes. Obviously, when you invest in the UK, if you're not buying in cash, you then have to declare if this is residential or if this is an investment. But other places in the world, you can just buy something and do which way you want it to go. But I don't own somewhere that I bought primarily with the aim of I'm going to live here, because I would not that I would necessarily rather rent, but at this point in my life, freedom is everything to me. So for me, property actually allowed me to do that, because I feel like if you're going to replace especially someone who's come from like an industry where you get a good, stable, steady salary, in my mind, if I'm going to replace that, one of the best streams of incomes that I can use to replace that is property, because if you're doing something like, especially if you have even like basic one, like a buy to let, every single month what you're getting is relatively fixed, right? There's only been, I don't know, I've been a homeowner now for coming up to like 5 years. There's only been maybe like 3 or 4 months where things have been, okay, maybe not 3 or 4 months, but it hasn't been that many times where I've got
like
less.
Boilers this,
do you know what I mean? Where
that.
I've got less than what I've expected. So it's a very predictable source of income. So if you are going to replace a 5K, 10K salary, I feel like that's one of the best ways you can replace it. I also have other streams of income, but whether it's content creation or a business or whatever, it can fluctuate so much. Property is fixed. So if you then want to have this fixed baseline whereby, okay, I have this sum of income and now I can do whatever the hell I want, I feel like property is the best way to do that, which is why for me it was like, okay, home ownership is important in this season.
So for you, it's very much like it's your anchor that kind of keeps you, I guess, secure, but you can still float around and navigate, but you know that you still got an anchor to, well, regardless of what's happening, I've got kind of my safety net. I've got my anchor that keeps me relatively grounded.
Literally.
Do you think too many people are too emotionally attached to their first purchase? And don't look at the investment side of it. They look at it as home versus investment are completely different, and there's no crossover.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I feel like I will have a strong opinion that might not suit everyone, but I am of the opinion that if you were in a situation like mine, I don't see why you would get your first home as a residential home, because I feel like when you do that, let me not say I don't see why. I would not do that, because I think when you do that, that's when you have this attachment to it, because you want it to look a particular way, and I don't know, you had all of these memories in it and whatever. So I think that's why people get attached to it. Whereas for me, when I was thinking about investing in property, I'm only thinking about investments. I only care about the numbers. I have no emotional attachment to it. So I think if people are getting it as their home, then I guess. And I feel like, so I have an apartment in Johannesburg, and I feel like I do have a bit of an emotional attachment to that place.
Little sauce. Yeah, I have an apartment in Johannesburg.
But
That's a little...
I feel like I do, because I partially chose it for myself and I've had memories in there. So you kind of get that attachment. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, like I think like people look at it like they're completely different. Buying a home for yourself is completely different from buying a buy to let. But in most cases, it's your biggest purchase in terms of money spent, your deposit and your transactional costs. It's your biggest monthly expense. So yes, you might want the garden. Yes, you might want off-street parking. Yes, you might want to be in the proximity to this station. However, like you're paying for enjoyment, but like it also is an investment. There is a long-term value. And if you overpay, you'll end up losing out. So you have to make sure. Also, you don't
agree with, you mean overpay on the
actual purchase price. Right. Like just because it ticks all your boxes doesn't mean you should overpay for it. Like, and I think because of the value of the transaction, people should always look at every purchase as an investment, regardless of if they're living there or not.
But what if someone would argue that like I'm paying for my happiness, I'm overpaying for my happiness?
Yeah, which to a degree is fine, but then at that point you shouldn't look at it as anything. Like there shouldn't, like, I guess, because you can have that argument of anything, like, and it's fine. Like, you know, I bought these shoes for £1,000. I don't care what they're going to be worth. I'm paying because I enjoy them, which is also fine. But then you have to just, if the house goes down in value, if whatever else it is, you shouldn't even really be looking at it as anything, I guess, in that instance.
I hear that.
What's the process like of buying in South Africa?
And
why Johannesburg?
So, process-wise, it was relatively straightforward because I bought in cash.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. So.
Yeah, so it was relatively straightforward. If you did want to get a mortgage, though, it's quite complicated there. Other places it was relatively straightforward. Let's say like Dubai, but in Johannesburg, it's a bit complicated. You have to, there's a lot that goes into it. But it was very straightforward because it was cash. It was so straightforward. Why Johannesburg? So I think there's a couple of things. One, at the time I was watching Blood and Water. Have you watched that?
Nah, I'm not really a series person.
Oh yeah, what do you watch? Football and roadmen podcasts and stuff.
That was good.
That was a good one, isn't it?
That was quite good. No, I listen to a lot of LBC.
What is that?
London's biggest conversation is radio.
Radio?
Yeah.
In 2025?
You're really rude.
Wait, you still listen to the radio?
Yeah.
Where?
When I'm driving in my house.
In your house?
Yeah.
Do you have like the things that you turn the thing?
How long's left?
How does one listen to the radio in their house? You what? Like you turn the dial or something?
I think because you addressed me as one, you think you're better than me, don't you? Like, how does one?
No, I'm genuinely interested. How do you listen to the radio? Is it a TV station?
No, you just say, Alexa, play the radio, and Alexa will play the radio.
Oh, okay.
So there's technology involved in my...
Is it?
You're an idiot.
I never thought about that.
Do you know what it is? Sorry, unlike you, that learns most of their news from the comment section on TikTok, I like to know who's talking and that this person actually has some type of, like, so as a host, there's somebody to kind of mediate the conversation.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's
what happens on news,
yeah, so that it's conversational radio. So they'll be talking about whatever issues are going on. So if, for example, there's an unfortunate incident where somebody's wrongly arrested, if there's a crime that's happened, if there's something that's their geopolitical tensions, they'll discuss it and people have different viewpoints and you get contrasting and conflicting opinions to help you generate a more balanced opinion yourself.
Okay, what station is that? 105.4?
It's 97.3. I know you're being facetious, but it's fine. Don't worry.
Okay, so I didn't know we still listen to the radio. I am Gen Z though, so
yeah, that's fine. Don't worry. You talkie tick.
So I was watching Blood and Water, and it was just so nice. I was like, oh, like. It was obviously South Africa is the only second world country in Africa. So I think just watching that series, I was like, oh my God, I didn't actually know that there was somewhere like this on the continent. So I went there for a trip just to kind of went to Cape Town, went to Johannesburg. And then I thought, oh, while I'm there, I might as well go and have a look at different properties. So actually, one of my friends, actually, she wasn't my friend at the time, but I was watching her. She built a villa in Bali,
you didn't like her, you were just watching her.
I was just, no, but she wasn't my friend.
Oh, you didn't know her? I thought you were like in arguments and you were just stalking her page or something.
She wasn't my friend at the time. I was just watching her and she was building this villa, insane villa from the ground up in Bali. And I was like, oh my God, like I never really thought about property investing outside of the UK. So that kind of like, when something just stays in the back of your mind. It wasn't like, oh my God, like I want to do this, but it just stayed in the back of my mind that like, I don't have to just think about the UK. And then I was like, oh, watching this show, I want to travel. And I think at that point I was like, okay, when I travel this time around, I don't just want to go to a resort and then, because when you go to a resort and then you just end up with all British people and it just takes like, what's the point of traveling if I'm just going to sit on a beach with a pina colada with the same people that I see where I was coming from. So I was like, this time around, I want to do things differently. I want to meet people, talk to local people, see the property scene and stuff like that. And when I got there, I think one of the things that I really, really loved about it was in London, I felt like regardless of how hard I was working or how hard I had worked at that point to get into banking and stuff, and I'd see like, okay, these are what my VPs are on or whatever. The houses that I loved, I was like, it would still cost me so much. I'd have to still make so much more to afford it.
Yeah.
Whereas when I went to South Africa, it was like, wow, these houses that are beautiful, that are insane, it's only like 300K, 400K. Like it's not that far away.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the realizations that I had, that like the life that I wanted is not that far away. It might be accessible in the short future, maybe just in a different geography. And so that kind of thinking was how I went into this trip. And then, and I saw somewhere and I really liked it. And I was like, I'm going to get this. So, and and I did. And then the process was straightforward because I did buy off plan. So yeah, it was like the first occupants.
In terms of sort of, because you solo travel quite a lot.
No.
No, do you not? Well, you didn't solo travel then. You were with people.
Solo travel quite a lot. What do you mean by solo travel?
Like as in, like you're comfortable to travel by yourself,
I
or do you?
hate solo traveling.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
So, like, because you always say, like, when you talk about it, you seem very isolated. I just thought I'm just going to go to Johannesburg and not be with English people. But now we find out you were with English people. You just wanted to pretend you weren't.
I don't like solo traveling for the sake of the only place I've ever solo traveled was Lisbon, and that was because my friend, she had a court case. She's a social worker. She had a court case. And
Yeah, you have to be very
experience.
specific with the way you say things, by the way.
Why?
You can't just say, oh, my friend had a court case.
Yeah, no, let me add in the social worker part. She was a social worker. So she left and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to cancel this. So I did it myself. And I hated it because I love to talk. Yeah, so.
Oh, we can tell.
It's a podcast.
I know. It's conversation, not a monologue. Oh,
wow.
Now who's being rude?
Oh, so should I not answer the questions then?
No.
You want me to give one-word answers? All right, guys. Kazim has requested one-word answers, so that's what I'm going to do.
I apologize. No, okay, fine. So you've gone to obviously Cape Town, and apparently the cost of living is there. Sorry, the cost of living there is relatively cheap.
It is it's insanely cheap.
Give me some examples.
Insanely cheap. Like, oh my God.
I don't know, something
Nando's.
like Nando's.
My Nando's order would be half chicken, chips, this cake called like is it Malava cake? Have you had that? I don't know if it's a South African special, but it's so good. And a drink, and it would be like £6. And I'd go all out and it would just be £6. Or if I just wanted like a thigh and like chips, will be like £2.50 for Nando's. And now I come here to Nando's and it's like £25.
Yeah.
So it's insanely cheap, especially food. Even when I went to like some of the best restaurants, I probably spend like £25 each. And the steak is the quality of the food, oh my God, everything. It's just so good. It's very, very affordable. So yeah, it made sense. But why are we talking about that again?
No, I was just understanding
why I liked
what
it so
was.
much.
Obviously, you said in terms of value for money.
Yeah.
You liked obviously the cost of living side of things over there. What about in terms of ownership laws? I think that's one thing that puts off a lot of people from investing overseas, like particularly some of the horror stories that happen when people invested in like timeshares in Spain and other, investment properties in France as well. Did you look into that much before purchasing?
I did. You kind of, because I wasn't buying a house, and I just feel like apartments, you're on a lease anyway. So there's only a certain level of ownership that you do have. It didn't really bother me. There are some jurisdictions, even in Dubai as well, where you are, just the ownership laws are a bit more, it's on like, I think in South Africa, they have like this protected land or something like that. I did look into that, but with the investment that I made, they were, when they build for international investors, where they make sure that all of those questions that you might have are answered. So it wasn't really an issue. But another thing that I was going to say, why I really like Johannesburg, I'll just add this, is they have, obviously, South Africa is the most unequal country in the world by the Gini coefficient. You said you did economics. Did you cover Gini coefficient?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's the most unequal. However, it has the second biggest population of wealthy Black middle class in the world. And so that was so nice. Like to go to high-end restaurants and it be not only Black people, there will be other white people or whatever, other races, but to see a lot of Black people, to walk in and not feel like, oh, what you doing in here?
Yeah.
That feeling.
That place, like people look at you like, oh, so you're an influencer or do you play football? Like, which one is it? Because it must be one of those for you to be here with us.
Yeah. So I didn't get that. I just felt like I could just be myself and people would see me and they would just speak in the language to me. So it's kind of, even just that is like, they don't see me as an outsider. Even though if they found out I was Nigerian, that might have been a different case. But they wouldn't see me as an outsider just by looking at me. And that made me feel really comfortable. So I really liked it. But don't solo travel. No, I don't solo travel. No. Do you like solo traveling? I feel like you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get lost, do things, end up at random bike rallies in the middle of Texas somewhere and just be like, okay.
But do you socialize?
Yeah, kind of just indiscriminately. But then I don't really mind. I'm very happy observing as well and just kind of just like seeing the world go by. You mentioned about feeling kind of comfortable. You seem like you've always been very comfortable being yourself. How did you find that, like working in investment banking, being a young lady of color in the space, and how do you
What
find it
makes you
now?
think I seem comfortable being myself?
Well, we're quite rude, quite blunt, but like, no, you carry yourself very well. You're, very personable. So I think, yeah, you seem like you just kind of go and do, and you have an air of confidence.
Am I rude? What have I said today that's been rude?
You asked me if I used the windy thing when
But
listening to the
that's what I know
radio.
people use for the radio.
The
That's
other
not my
the other day
fault.
when I described the podcast to you, you said, "Oh, do gang members do podcasts now?"
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's delivery over question.
No, but what's wrong with that delivery? Do gang members do pop? It was a genuine question. I feel like I delivered it quite well.
I'll ask them when I next see them. Because yeah, like
confident.
working in investment banking, like
Yeah.
what age were you when you started there?
Maybe 22, 23.
I guess maybe there probably were quite a few Nigerians there. Were you in the Nigerian clique or were you very
Lol.
mixed in?
Okay, so in terms of confidence, what I will say is I think that for me, I grew up in Hackney.
Some things you say, babe. Saying lol out loud sounds crazy,
What's
man.
low?
You went lol. Like, you're so Gen Z, it's amazing. I feel
Did I
so
say
old
that?
today, yes.
Okay, growing up in Hackney, I went to very black schools. I don't know why I said black like that. That sounds a bit. But I went to very black schools, very predominantly Nigerian. So I think my identity in myself has been very strong. And I think also, it's so funny. Growing up as well, like all the connotations around Nigerians when I was growing up was all positive. So I loved being who I was. So I grew up very, very confident. Like I have other friends who like maybe grew up in predominantly white areas and stuff, and they're a bit more shaky on who they are because they've been made to feel that way. But in my formative years, I guess when you form your opinion of yourself, it was quite strong. Even all of this, like, let me not even get into it. But yeah, so I had quite strong opinions of myself, and
I don't know what you were going to say.
You know what I was gonna say?
I don't know what you were going to say, but this makes you think I need to start a Patreon so people can find out what you're going to say for the extra £5 a month.
let me not say it. But yeah, so there was that. So I think I was quite confident. I did lose a little bit of confidence when I went to private school, and that's how I know that if I had grown up that way, I probably would have been a lot less confident. But then also they got to a point where I was like, 16, 17, 18, where I got good GCSEs, got good A levels. And I don't know who started this whole thing, but it was like, if you have managed to get to the same place that other people who have had private school tutoring their whole lives, who have grown up in privileged areas, gone to the best schools, if I've managed to get to the same place as you without all of that, who should feel insecure? Why would I be the one who feels insecure when I've done that without help? I didn't even have my mum wasn't even though my mum pushed us to no, she didn't really. But my mom, I didn't even have a mom that was like, oh, you need to go to this school. She was picking the best schools for me. I didn't have any of that. My brothers are also non-educational. 2 of them are actors. My older brother used to play football and now he does talent management and like a scrum master. So no one in my family was even like that. If I got to the same place as Bob, who's gone to private school, why would I feel, if we got the same grades, why do I feel insecure? So I think going into it, obviously I think there's an element of I can't fully be myself sometimes, but also I was just like, I don't need to feel insecure. And I did even during we have assessment, assessment centers, right? And I didn't do I studied economic history. A lot of people there, masters in finance and this and that, and they've done internships, and a lot of Europeans as well at the investment banks. And in the European culture outside of the UK, masters are standard, especially if you want to work in finance. So they all came in with that, and I still made it through the assessment center. And I didn't make it through on a black card, which is what people will assume. I saw the rankings and the grades. I did well. On my internship as well, I ranked first, I ranked second in the case studies. Again, I didn't study finance. So it's I have no reason to feel less than. If anything, if I'm not performing well, it's because I don't want to. And that's kind of how I went about it.
And I think the reason I asked you that, I think it's important. What you said around, you don't have to come from having everything. And if you're in those same rooms, I think it's something that, is spoken about regularly by Dean Forbes talks about where he got to in his rooms, and everybody else came from Eton and Cambridge and Oxford. And it's listen, if I'm in the same place and you had all that help, just now that we've got the same resources, you kind of better be scared.
Yeah, literally. That was how I thought. So I was just like, whatever.
And I think it's important to have like people like you and people that come in different demographics, because loads of people only spend 5-10% of their year talking about or investing in property and are working in their 9 to 5 in, you know, different vocations, but suffer from imposter syndrome, suffer from feeling inferior. And I think just having, you know, somebody who's been through the system and kind of has come out the other side and has been able to strive in it, I think it's really important, just as a message for if anybody is struggling at the moment with maybe feeling a little bit insecure or a little bit like maybe I'm not good enough. It's just a reminder that actually you are.
Do you know when I did feel imposter syndrome though?
When
I got my first property, and I at first I thought I was going to manage it myself in terms of like managing the tenants, and then when it was like middle-aged white couple, one was a solicitor, one was maybe an accountant, and I was like, I don't know, I just started panicking because I was like, if they find out I'm this 23-year-old young black girl, I don't think that they're going to take, I don't know if that's imposter syndrome, but I was just like, I don't think they're going to take me seriously. So I remember I went on LinkedIn and I blocked them so that if they search me up, they can't see me, whatever. I don't know if that's imposter syndrome, but that was the first time I felt like, oof, a little bit insecure.
I think it's just managing. Like when I first used to like do viewings as a landlord, like if I knew I had viewings, I'd go and at least put on like jeans and a little button-up shirt or something. Now I'll be coming from the gym in a night tech tracksuit, like, yo, what's going on? Because it's like you're a lot more comfortable with, look, I'm the landlord. Like, it's up to you. I'm not going to put on a facade. I am who I am. You are who you are. It's not a good or a bad thing either way. We're just the people that we are. And you still need to treat me with the same respect.
Hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I feel like men can get away with that a lot more than women can. Because you know Stephen Bartlett, the fact that he just wears like no socks on his podcast, jeans and a black top. If I even have like anything that's like out of place in terms of, like, I think the other day I had a racer top that was like that. People in the comments are like, oh my God, the host should dress more like this. I'm like, really? And I feel like women, especially if you're entering into certain spaces, people hold you to a certain standard of you have to dress a certain way.
Yeah, probably. And that is, I think, women that hold you more to account than...
True.
I don't think the men are doing it. By the way, big up Lyle and Scott for my ensemble today, making sure that I feel comfortable for today's pods and all the pods.
The podcast.
Listen, come and sponsor the podcast. Come and get, you know, the young, fashionable... I'm still young, by the way. I don't know why you laughed. People looking right in our professional settings. But yeah, like I don't really think about it in that same way. So I do think there is that pressure. But... regardless, whether it's being young, whether it's being black, you know, being a landlord, there has been times where people have been like, so are you the tenant or are you the property manager or the cleaner? Like, and I'm like, oh no, I'm the landlord. They're like, oh, can I see your ID? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like there's loads of scams around. Cool, see my ID. Can I see the land registry certificate? I'm like, yeah, it's £3. Go and download it. I'm not paying for it. Like, but you're more than welcome. Like, here's my ID. So I do think there are those kind of awkward barriers, but then sometimes they also protect you from the people that maybe you're not really supposed to engage with.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, so the person is second guessing whether or not you can be a landlord because of your age or because of your race. You probably don't want them as a tenant and somebody that you're going to engage with anyway.
Sometimes I play into it. Like I can't lie. Like on my podcast, for example, like I remember I was speaking with, you know, Bricks and Tips and
attire,
so we're talking about like podcast attire. So obviously mine is you have to come smart casual. And the reason for that is because I'm talking about money and wealth, and because I want to attract an older audience, like you lot and older.
How old are you?
Young. I'm a Gen
No. Say your age. No, because if you carry on at age, say your age.
One of the questions not to be asked. No, joking. It wasn't.
Oh, you know I didn't read that. I don't even know what my age is right now.
What's your age? You tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
I'm 36.
Are you actually? Yeah. When's your birthday?
June the 8th. It was just
that's my brother's birthday. Happy birthday.
Stop distracting me. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay.
So I'm not young.
Yeah, youngish, 9 years. Yeah, first.
What was I talking about?
I don't know. No, we were just talking about your podcast attire.
The podcast. So So they were saying, oh, like so I tell people to come in smart casual. And then I think when Tayo came, he was like, oh my God, like he was sweating when he was coming on the podcast because he didn't know what to wear. And I think the week before that we had Debaden from the Stock Pickers Academy and he wore a shirt. So he was like, oh, I don't know if I should wear a shirt, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it's fine. I just don't want you to wear a hoodie and a hat because as a black person, just the way you present yourself, I feel like people, especially if they see a guy in a hoodie and a hat, the people that I know that I want to attract, their unconscious bias might think that I'm not going to click on this or I'm not going to listen to this. And you know what? I clicked on one of your videos today because I was like, I wanted to see what the set was like. And it was with some guy that was wearing like a full suit, urban financer or something.
Yeah,
one
Franklin Asante.
Like, why is one guy wearing a hoodie and one guy wearing...
Yeah, I remember that guy says, I'm not listening to Suit Man talking to Tracksuit Man. I said, I was going to talk about that comment because... I didn't know who was being insulted there. Like, there wasn't enough articulation in the comment, like, to really understand what was going on. But I know someone got this. I don't know if it was me or Franklin.
Honestly, when I saw that, I was like, yeah. But yeah, so because of that, I have to play into it a little bit. And I said, please don't wear a hat. Please don't wear a jumper, because I know that there are some people who would really love this content. But if they see that, they are immediately going to discount it as something. I don't even know. But yeah, sometimes you got to play into it, man.
Yeah, I think I'm almost like, I know how I sound, I know how to talk, like, regardless of, there's always going to be that nuance in the way that you speak. So I'm very much that, do you know what? Let me just be like myself. So like, I remember going to do like my first talk, like up in Barclays in Canary Wharf, like their wealth management. And I remember like getting off, I think I drove. So I think I just got out of the car park and I looked up at the building and I was like, shit, this looks expensive. And then you go into the atrium and it's quadruple heighted with all these passes. I've not worked like a job in 10 years at this point. And I was like, the security's looking at me like, why are you here? I was like, I don't know, really, actually, to be honest with you, I think I might go home. I was like, no, okay, this is my name. It's like the way somebody came and brought me up. And you get up to like this top and it's looking over the skyline of Canary Wharf, like triple heighted ceilings, like, the conference room that looks out over it.
Yeah.
And then they had all the chairs set up and the people came in and everyone's in their like Audemars Piguets and their Rolexes and their suits with these things that, in the pockets, the squares and all these fancy joints. And I'm there in my combats.
You wore combats?
And a hoodie.
You wore a hoodie?
Yeah. And I said, okay. Suit Man talking to Tracksuit Man part 2. No, this was before. This was part 1 actually, and it was. But then, and I realized, but the value is in the information that you have to deliver.
100%. The thing is, it is though. But some people will judge the book by the cover.
Yeah,
they will 100%. So why did you wear that?
Because that's what I wear everywhere. Like,
do you? So you don't code switch?
No, like language wise, yeah, like I'm only beginning to very slowly understand what smart casual means. I find that phrase really concerning because which one is it? Is it smart or is it casual? Because I can do one, but I can't do them both simultaneously.
You wear the trousers and then you wear the jumper. That's like casual.
No, that for me, that's quite smart.
You think that's quite smart?
Yeah.
Okay, this is it's casual.
See, this for me is smart.
But I think because they only see your top, then yeah, smart casual, yeah.
So this is smart casual?
I think so. You're tethering the lines a little bit.
So what are you wearing?
I wanted to match your vibe. So I saw you used to wear the jumper on the podcast. I was like, wow, I can't come in like something that's
like a pencil skirt and a blouse.
I don't wear that, but I just thought I'd just wear something casual. I think this is very casual.
So this is in casual.
This is
what would you describe that as?
Casual, isn't it?
But what like the same way this is a jumper thing.
This is a I think it's a bodycon dress.
A body, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, you don't know dresses now.
No. Why?
You say you don't order a dress for someone.
I wouldn't know the names of them. No, like I wouldn't like. Even when earlier you said racer top, in my head I'm going to Google that later because I don't know what that is. Okay, listen. Are you going to continue investing in property, whether it's here or further afield?
Yeah. I will, but not for, I was actually thinking about that this morning. I don't think I'm very far off my baseline of what I want. Mm-hmm. So I'm not in a race to, I got 10 plus properties. I don't need that. I think that when I was starting out, property was one of the easiest forms of investing to understand. And it was one that I felt like in hindsight, it's not even that accessible, but it's one that I felt like I could do. But I think with the knowledge I have now, I only want to have a couple. Like when I say a couple, like probably like maybe once I get to like 6, I think I'd probably stop because for a while and then maybe later on get back into it. All I need is my baseline. When I'm thinking of the reason why I'm going to continue going is because in like, let's say 5 years time, when I want to have kids and get married and stuff like that, my baseline level of security is going to increase. So I want to prepare for that. I'll be done soon, but I want to prepare for that in the next couple of years. Once I hit that, I don't think that property is in every season of your life the best way to invest your money.
Where else are you going to be investing?
In like myself, business, in terms of like just asset classes like startups and stuff, angel investing is definitely something that I want to do. But I think that I'll get to a point where the priority for my money will differ a lot. So right now, all I really siphon my money into is property, or then like, I don't know, running costs for the little things that I do now. I think in a couple years time, the little things that I do now will hopefully be bigger things and then probably require more money. And then you have kids, whatever, house or whatever, the cost will go there. So yeah, so long story short is I need a couple more to hit a good baseline, and then I don't think I'll continue.
Do you think they'll be in the UK or do you think they'll be overseas?
I'm still investing in the UK. I'm still investing in the UK. And I just have like, I would say I want a couple more in the UK. Hopefully I can do it in like the next year or so. Then I'll be done. I can't wait to leave and not have to get into this market anymore because it's just, anyways, whatever. Before you say I'm talking too much. But yeah, so I think only a couple more in the UK.
You're supposed to talk?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's what I said.
So a couple more in the UK and then the rest will be overseas. But the UK is a good level of security. And I like HMOs in terms of the numbers. So a couple more of those and then...
So just a couple more. Sprinkle a couple of HMOs and then out. Yeah. If you could have properties in 5 countries in the world, where would they be?
Dubai, the UK. Good question. I don't really love many countries like that. Okay, South Africa, yeah. So I guess I add 2 new countries. Let me see. Where would I want to go?
You mentioned a friend in Bali. Bali's not drawing you, Far East?
Not for me personally.
South of France?
Nah. Maybe somewhere like that has like maybe like the Maldives or something. I don't know though. I feel like I'm
Sounds
pretending.
very like...
boring.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I feel like weather. I feel like there'd be a storm.
Really?
You're stuck on an island. You get stranded. I've watched The Castaway. Not a fan.
What's that?
Is it
on film. Radio show?
No, but it's an old film.
It's an old film, innit? Yeah, I feel like you're just like an old man in a young body.
Yeah.
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 Radio?
That's why I got this. I feel like this is like a blend of...
And the chair really suits you. You know that your granddad's chair in the
corner?
Yeah,
in the corner. You're not talking, just rocking and listening to the conversation. Do you know what? On that note, I think I'm going to wind things up. I'm not even letting you have a final note. That has been another episode of the PBK podcast. If you've enjoyed it, like, comment, all that good stuff. Less than half of you that watch this podcast have actively subscribed. So if you haven't already, and if you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure you do it now. Before I let you go, how can people connect with you? Where can they find you?
Okay, guys, let me just say something. I'm not a rude person. I don't know what Kazy has portrayed, but I'm actually a very nice person. But I like to laugh.
That's fun. We've had fun.
But you can find me, Lamide Elizabeth, on most social media platforms, if not all social media platforms. And the podcast is called Building Wealth with No Borders. It's very serious. Yeah, we talk about serious stuff.
Oh, so you just save the fun for other people's podcasts and you're serious on your own?
No,
just come to mine for jokes?
Yes, actually.
Fair enough. Well, listen, we're here to have fun. We're obviously here to learn. Hopefully you've learned a lot from today's episode. We are going to be back next week with another amazing episode. Peace.